Aloha and mahalo for joining us for our August version of Talk Story as we get closer to welcoming students back for the start of the fall semester. Since the pandemic began to change our lives back in March, the staff here at Hawaii Pacific University have been working tirelessly to prepare for the return of in-person teaching, learning, and campus life. Thanks to those who have created and implemented numerous precautions and protocols that have made our university, I believe, one of the most prepared institutions in Hawaii and quite likely among the best prepared universities in the country. In the coming moments, I want to share with you the comprehensive measures that we have put in place since the spring to further the health and safety of our entire community for the 2020-2021 academic year. I also want to let you know that we've asked a team of health and safety experts to provide us with an independent assessment of our planning strategies, and we have undertaken this independent review to help ensure that our efforts comply with government agency directives and industry best practices. So let's go over what we have in place for the start of August 24, and I'll organize these important items in three categories: social distancing, sanitization, and screening. Our social distancing protocols are based on comprehensive facilities analysis that we completed in the spring. It provides the basis of the corresponding modifications to classrooms, offices, and common areas. Seatings in all classrooms, common areas, offices, residences, and dining have been physically distanced by 6 feet or more. Some classes have been shifted to a hybridized model, flipping the classroom and providing a mix of in-person and online instruction. Plexiglass barriers have been installed for additional protection around podiums and lecture areas, reception, counter areas, and dining areas. Throughout the residence halls, plastic barriers have been installed in a number of areas, including restrooms and common areas. We are adding a number of outdoor classrooms to our Hawaii Loa and Aloha Tower Marketplace, including the second-floor lanai overlooking the harbor, which should give us the most picturesque classroom setting in the country. We are already pleased that our locations give us this flexibility, and I'm hoping that our students and faculty alike enjoy these opportunities to meet outside. Additional outdoor seating areas, all spread out for social distancing, have been installed on the first and second floors of the Aloha Tower Marketplace and select areas in Waterfront Plaza and the Hawaii Loa campus. At Pier 9, we have removed all of the seating for indoor dining and have expanded our outdoor dining areas. Our facilities density analysis covered all areas and, very importantly, all of our classrooms and office areas. Entry areas to student-facing and high-traffic areas, like classrooms, have floor demarcations to assist with the maintenance of at least 6 feet of distance from others. When possible, ingress and egress has been established through separate entrances and stairwells to minimize the congestion in thoroughways. Signage is in place, and times between classes have been lengthened to allow for less congestion. Let us now turn to the measures in place involving sanitization and hygienic practices that are aimed at preventing the spread of the coronavirus. All members of our campus community are directed to adhere to social distancing and hygiene protocols. And for starters, we should all say first and foremost, everybody will wear a mask, including indoors and outdoors on campus. We've assessed how each of us does our work. HPU conducted a position-by-position safety assessment, and facilities have distributed additional PPE and has trained designated faculty and staff accordingly. In addition to the way our people move throughout our spaces, we have looked to how air moves as well. HPU conducted an air filtration and ventilation analysis, and we completed or facilitated corresponding modifications at the Aloha Tower Marketplace and our Hawaii Loa campus, and we have worked with management at Waterfront and Pioneer Plazas to increase the amount of outside airflow into the classrooms. As part of our enhanced facilities cleaning strategy, HPU cleaning personnel and contractors have received training on CDC guidance addressing the sanitization of schools, workplaces, office buildings, non-emergency transport vehicles, and community facilities suspected and confirmed COVID disease. Generally, common areas will be regularly cleaned, and as needed, areas will be sanitized by our cleaning contractors. Certain areas will be cleaned more frequently, including restrooms, lounges, common areas, and all high-touch surfaces like doorknobs, counters, rails, and elevator buttons. In the event of a possible or confirmed case of COVID-19 on our campus, our facilities team will secure the affected area or areas and will undertake a deep cleaning in accordance with government guidelines. All HPU student housing units, both at Aloha Tower and Hawaii Loa, have been treated with a disinfecting fogging process developed especially for our dorms. The material used is a phosphate-free formulation. All classrooms, libraries, conference rooms, business office, the learning commons, and other gathering areas will receive an electrostatic spray fog that emits a CDC-approved antimicrobial that will deactivate the coronavirus on surface. One application protects surfaces for 90 days and creates a protective layer that is not destroyed by daily cleaning. In fact, by the start of the semester, over 300,000 square feet will be treated with this disinfectant fog. We all have roles to play in ongoing cleaning. We all have shared responsibility during this pandemic. Masks, as I noted already, will be required indoors and outdoors. You must wash your hands regularly and use hand sanitizer. The university has provided large bottles throughout the campus and also disinfectant spray. In addition to our regular cleaning by facilities and outside contractors or building staff, individuals should also conduct regular surface cleaning of their own workspaces. Facilities has made sanitization supplies available to all departments, and please do not hesitate to call facilities if you need additional cleaning supplies. And let us now turn to our third category of preparation, the many ways which we will screen our campus community. Comprehensive new safety protocols have been established for our campus entry. Will require the completion of a daily health questionnaire by all students, residents and non-resident, faculty, staff, and visitors. Over the summer, staff and faculty have been working on campus, have been completing theirs each day. The questionnaire can be filled out through an HPU app, and the answers help ensure that individuals are symptom-free and have not had exposure to the COVID-19 virus prior to entry into our campus. We are also installing on all of our campuses thermal scanning stations that work with facial recognition. Students will use these each day, and their temperature and facial scans will be matched with photo ID. They will receive a visual badge on their phones to assure faculty and classmates that they are cleared for campus. This badge will be required to enter university facilities like the Learning Commons, the library, Pier 9, and other dining halls. The faculty will be able to verify students in class that have been cleared for the day, either by asking students to show their digital pass or printed badge, or by viewing the class roster through the HPU portal. Campus visitors will also use facial scanners. For them, it will check their temperature, and, if it's normal, the system will print a visitor sticker on the spot. There are other situations that will require individuals to remain off campus, including when an individual is awaiting a prescribed diagnostic test due to symptoms, when a household member is awaiting the results of prescribed diagnostic tests due to symptoms, when an individual has had close contact with someone with a positive diagnosis within 14 days of symptom onset, and when an individual is subject to mandatory 14-day quarantine due to travel or otherwise. I would also like to mention that we're training more than 25 staff members on contact tracing. These individuals will be drawn from throughout all parts of the university and will facilitate facilities and the Department of Health. To help improve security on our campus, we will also be requiring faculty and staff to wear their university ID on university-provided badge holders and lanyards. And now, in the context of screening, I want to review the main points of the process that will enable our out-of-state students to arrive in Honolulu beginning in a matter of days. Students entering Hawaii via trans-Pacific travel will need to meet very stringent requirements of a modified quarantine program and will need to show proof of a negative test or quarantine for 14 days before entering an HPU campus. The program details include an attestation of being symptom-free or having no exposure to a positive case in 14 days preceding travel, and no travel is allowed if displaying symptoms. The attestation as to all program requirements, including acknowledgement of university, state, and city penalties for misconduct. Strict protocols for transportation from the airport to an on-island residence, and transportation directly to our campus is not allowed unless the student has submitted proof of a negative test result. Strict quarantine upon arrival is required without proof of a negative test result taken within 72 hours of departure. And while not mandated by the state or city, HPU will place daily wellness calls to the student population to verify that students are remaining in their residences unless seeking medical attention or en route to the residence following arrival. For 14 days following arrival, if a student can provide proof of a negative test, the student can participate in a modified education bubble. This means the student can only participate in official university activities. Upon displaying symptoms of any kind, return to strict quarantine in residence is required. All program infractions will be reported to the state and city. We also have special procedures for students living on campus. All residential students, including local students, will not be permitted to enter into the residence halls without proof of a negative test from an HPU-provided diagnostic test or an attestation as to completion of a 14-day quarantine period without symptoms. For out-of-state students, we have arranged for a special shuttle to pick them up at the airport and bring them to the dorms if they were able to obtain a pre-travel negative test, or to a designated hotel that will house HPU students. We've also arranged for meals to be delivered to these students and for them to be tested at the hotel. And once they receive a negative test result, we've arranged for transportation to our dorms, and then they are permitted to participate in our modified education bubble. We have set aside at ATM and HLC a number of residential isolation rooms for students. We are contracting with 2 hotels to house students in case additional housing is needed during the semester. Facilities also has detailed quarantine procedures in the event of infection in our dorms. I also want to point out that we've undertaken pre-semester diagnostic testing of all front-facing operational staff. This included those who engage in close conduct with students and others in the ordinary course or during the Welcome Week experience. Going forward, HPU will assess the need for further testing, and individuals who are interested in taking a diagnostic test but are not directed to do so will once again be invited to participate. HPU is also exploring a comprehensive pool testing program for all students during the fall semester, and we have been in discussions with 3 FDA-approved labs, both here and on the mainland, about working with us on this innovative program, which, if implemented, will be the only one of its kind in Hawaii. I want to thank our College of Health and Society and the Office of University Advancement for putting this proposal together. Finally, we have established comprehensive policies and procedures in the event of a positive diagnosis on campus, and we have created FAQs for supervisors on how to respond in various situations. Understanding that the Hawaii Department of Health's involvement in contact tracing may not occur immediately, as noted, HPU has identified and will be training select faculty and staff to conduct contact tracing in response to a positive diagnosis. HPU's goal, with the cooperation of the diagnosed individual, is to immediately identify and notify those in close contact and to commence remediation activities, including deep cleaning of the affected areas. We will also develop an informational campaign on shared responsibility, as our campus will be affected by the off-campus behavior and interactions, and we will be utilizing recommendations from the CDC on how to address our student audience. So in summary, these are the many measures that will help keep ourselves and one another healthy during this uncertain time. But I cannot stress strongly enough that we're counting on every single individual in our HPU Ohana to follow the rules, to give their full support to these efforts, and to do so with aloha, with the understanding that it is pono to wear your mask, maintain social distancing, answer the health questions every day. Student and faculty members, get your daily thermal scan, and stay at home if you have symptoms at all. Let it be your kuleana to take these safe practices with you off campus as well. And when we say that we're all in this together, this is what we mean. Mahalo nui loa and aloha.